Welcome back to the BluePrint Buzz. I'm your host, Louis Vandervalk, and this show is sponsored by BluePrint Cabinets. Located right here in town, BluePrint Cabinets offers high-end, ready-to-assemble cabinets and vanities that won't completely destroy your budget, and they'll last forever because they're made out of solid wood. All right, so today I am joined by Korey Jennings, an awesome mortgage broker that I've used multiple times, and he's also the owner of the Perfect Cup Café. Korey, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, excited to chat about this one here. So tell people who you are, what you do, the problems that you solve, and obviously tell them a little bit about the Cat Cafe as well and how perfect that is.
I guess my day job is more the financial problem solver. So I am a mortgage broker, licensed mortgage broker. I also have my life insurance license as well, but that's kind of an aside. Mortgage brokering, debt financing, restructuring, that's really my bread and butter, which is cool because it actually does put me in contact with a fair bit of business owners and entrepreneurs, self-employed people, because they have the hardest time getting financing. I'm sure and I know myself from experience being entrepreneurs. So having that set of hands who has that experience at your side, I think is a valuable tool. Because the financial side of business is the lifeblood of the business. So you want to have kind of all hands on deck when it comes to that side of it, I think.
And Korey didn't ask for this, but again, I have used him a couple times, and he will go to the ends of the earth to help figure things out and get things lined up and get you the best rates, the best deal. So shout out to Korey.
Certainly can never promise an outcome, but I can certainly promise I'll give it my, swing my hardest for it.
Yeah. And certainly done that for me. So appreciate that. Yeah. Financial problem solver, I think, is an excellent title. You could just go to LinkedIn, update that, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Back when I was more of a financial planner, I always thought more like, oh, what am I, like a financial engineer? It's like, maybe that could be a cool new designation or something. But yeah, I know a lot of it really is kind of structural things when it comes to finance. So, the structural aspect and that kind of engineering aspect, so to speak, really plays kind of a critical role in that problem solving aspect, right? You really have to have a pretty good understanding of the whole landscape to be able to deliver advice worth giving, So yeah, it certainly helps to have that hands-on experience.
Yeah, for sure. So you've been doing business in Fredericton for a long time. What's your favorite part about working with other local businesses and business owners?
Well, I like that Fredericton, is kind of like a bigger town, smaller city, so you kind of have that opportunity to be a big fish in a little pond, which I really like. Because then the business owners all know each other, have heard of each other, so there's that kind of network effect. And even for you, I've run into a few people now who work with you, or I've seen online that they work with you or whatever, right? Like local businesses. And so it's cool to see those connections. And then, the goodwill tends to kind of bounce between people, which is nice to see. And I firmly believe in a rising tide lifts all boats. So, to take advantage of that when you have that opportunity to be in a smaller market, in my mind, opens up opportunities because there's less people chasing after any given opportunity. Unlike being in the big city where, like, who are you? You know what I mean? You're just one in a million, so it's hard to make an impact, right? So that's the big thing I like about dealing here locally.
I like it. I definitely agree. What do you think is the best kept secret in Fredericton that more people should know about?
This might sound self-serving, but honestly, it's probably our bagel sandwiches at my cafe. It's like, those things are just awesome. They're well priced, and I've just got so much good feedback, and I eat a ton of them myself. They're really good. So, like, it's not something you'd ever think of. It wouldn't come up at the top of anyone's mind. But it makes a solid lunch.
Well, you heard it here first. Head over to the Perfect Cup Café, grab a bagel. You're making me hungry. I'm gonna have to stop in there on the way to the BluePrint
And
showroom.
it's probably worth mentioning our bagels are made from the Great Canadian Bagels. So it's, we're supporting
that's
another
cool.
business. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. I like it. Fredericton is a city of opportunity, as you were mentioning. You can kind of show up as a big fish in a small pond. What is a piece of advice, life advice, business advice, etc., that you could share with other Frederictonians that has helped you to get where you are today?
It's funny because I kind of had an interaction yesterday with. Actually, this is really funny because it's one of the guys you work with, because it's Adam's Yard Maintenance.
Adams, yeah.
It's on Adam, and then he was saying, because I saw his truck drive by me at the Brookside Mall just like 2 days ago, and I assumed it was him. I didn't really see who was in it, so I just waved, right, assuming it was him. But he looks over and waves back, and it's not Adam. And so I messaged Adam to tell him that, right? He's like, "Oh yeah, that guy gets waved at all the time because I keep communication lines open. I like to talk to business owners. I like to get out there and make those connections." And him and I kind of had that conversation, how important that is, especially in business.
Yeah.
Again, it's that networking effect, right? You got to talk to people. If you're just holed up in front of your computer all day or whatever, you're probably not engaging. And then if you're not engaging, you're not leaving any kind of impression. And if you're not leaving any kind of impression, you're probably not getting any referrals.
In the age of AI, the human touch is still so important.
I think it's becoming more important. And
I think it's going to make you stand out for sure.
Well, and I've thought of this even in relation to my own business of like mortgage brokering. Okay, where is AI going with all this? Is it all just going to become, robo AI brokers or whatever? And I came to the conclusion that I doubt it, because as long as people see value in dealing with a human, that you can't replace that.
Well, I'd have to say, having dealt with you as a human in what we do and what you do, like there's just so many nuances to it. It's going to help you to do your job better and faster, maybe, but it's not going to have the same consultative effect. Certainly not for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Well, and an important part of it is, as a customer, as a borrower, or whatever, you want to know that you're heard and properly understood.
Yeah.
AI is a black box. Like, it's just telling you what you want to hear, essentially. Like, you know what I mean? So that understanding, that empathy, just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So as long as we remain biologically human, we're probably going to have that drive to seek out, human connection.
Yeah. It's funny. Adam has popped up, I think, 3 times. This is at least the second time that he's been mentioned on the show. So I'm trying to get him on the show, and he's like, "Man, I'm not a big one for computer, like showing up on camera." And I was like, "Dude, people see you all the time. Let's just make it happen." But
I'll send him a message after this. I'll tell him I was just on. I'll tell him.
Yeah, twist his arm. Tell him that you mentioned him. All right. So who are, awesome conversation here today. Who are 1 or 2 other people that we should have on the podcast that you can recommend? Put you on the spot here.
Yeah. Realistically, Patty Hollenberg wouldn't be a bad one. Not that I want to throw anyone into the ring or anything, but like just where, she has that entrepreneurial background, opened a few businesses and kind of took them to their conclusion recently.
I'm actually not familiar. What does she do, or what business was she associated with?
Oh, she was Chess Piece.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Well, and she just sold it recently.
Very cool.
And now she's gonna focus on other. I think she wants to get into the teaching aspect of cooking or something.
Very cool.
Or baking.
Well, she's got the results to prove it.
Yeah. So she definitely had a part to play in kind of elevating the cafe culture in Fredericton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I do think if you could get her, would be.
Well, if you know her or can connect me, that would be awesome.
I certainly can try. I do know her. Yeah. Yep, for sure.
All right, and to wrap up, bring us home with a highlight from your time in business, Korey.
Oh, geez. I mean, there's a lot of highs and lows, right? And even the lows, kind of bring their own meaning and value to the table. But your temptation is to focus on the positive and highs. Saving people out of a tough situation, though, has probably been some of the most rewarding, because at least on 2 occasions now, I have 2 and actually working on a 3rd one right now, bailing someone out of foreclosure. And that's pretty stressful, potentially losing your home, or in one of those cases, it was a business, but it was a $3 million project, right? If you lose something worth that much, that's huge. So, being able to come in and save the day, so to speak, through a solution, feels pretty good. Essentially save someone from financial catastrophe.
Yeah.
Huge. Not exactly day-to-day thing, but when it comes up, it's scary and stressful. But if you pull through, it's very rewarding.
Yeah. I think it was Tony Robbins. I was listening to something he said recently, and it was like, "There's no failures. There's just outcomes." And you were talking about the highs and lows. I'm not discounting your stepping in and helping people on the foreclosures. That's awesome. But what you said before, it's hard to just look. We do tend to just look at the outcomes that are positive. But every part of the roller coaster is important. The downs help give you momentum for the ups. So awesome. Korey, how can people find you? How can they get in touch with you and give you a shout if they need help with anything financial?
Probably the easiest is you send me a message on Google or Facebook. Mortgages with Korey. Korey's Korey. You can send me a message there. You can apply directly there if you want financing. So there's a couple different ways to reach me if you just Google me, essentially.
Perfect.
And then there's also the Perfect Cup. Indirectly, I am connected to the social media on that, so I do see the messages that come in through that page. So tons of ways to get a hold of me.
Awesome.
My phone number's on Google. You can text me. My phone number's right there on Google.
He responds quickly too. I'll attest to that.
Yeah, filtering out all the spam I'm starting to get because my number's up there.
Yeah. Well, guys, go snag a bagel from the Perfect Cup Café. Go reach out to Korey if you need help, and we'll catch you next time.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Lewis. You have a great weekend.
Appreciate it, Korey. So just hang out here after, and we'll I'll just end the recording. All right, Fredericton, I'm going to leave you with 2 things. Number 1, if you need a new cabinet or vanity, reach out to BluePrint Cabinets, and they can help you out. And number 2, if you know an awesome business owner moving and shaking in the community, let us know so that we can have them on an episode. This has been another episode of the Blueprint Buzz, sponsored by BluePrint Cabinets. I'm your host, Louis Vandervalk, and we will see you on the next one.